Thanks for tuning in. This is Sweet Cyclist. Today we're going to be looking at the Planet Bike Rojo 100 taillight. So here we have the Planet Bike Rojo 100 in its original packaging. As with all Planet Bike accessories, the packaging is really well done. There's no plastic to be seen, really nice cardboard and great presentation. The taillight is very prominently displayed here and actually lets you interact with it as well. All the accessories are in the bottom portion, and you have the simple cardboard back with all the specifications on here. I want to thank Planet Bike for providing this to be reviewed. This is one of their newest taillights, building off the success of their Superflash taillights. This is a very powerful 100 lumen taillight they've recently introduced. If we go over the specifications while I remove this from the packaging, you'll see that this is a $35 taillight. It's 100 lumens, so that's more than enough for daytime and nighttime visibility. You get the standard Superflash and courtesy modes here, which is great for daytime and nighttime. And I think the biggest plus here is you get a lot of mounting options right out of the box. Unlike a lot of other manufacturers that require you to buy optional accessories, with this one you get everything you need for whether it's a rack, seat stay, or seat post with the original purchase itself. It also has a 650 lithium polymer battery directly built in with the USB Type-C charging, which is a really cool thing to see. This is the most powerful USB Type-C taillight we've seen to date. Now let's take a look at what comes in the packaging. You have the standard instructions. Again, no plastic, great little cardboard package. We have a seat post mount here. This is a standard rubber strap with a little sliding locking mechanism here and a little screw. You get the additional hardware you need to mount this on a rack. And here's the rack mount. This is really cool. I've yet to see a taillight that offers this. And this means you can attach it to your commuter bike really easily. The other cool thing about the mounting here is you can see directly built in on this is the clip, the body clip. So you can put this on your backpack, saddleback, and they use that to attach this to the various different attachments. So that's the rack. USB Type-C charging, which again, really cool to see. You can finally get rid of your micro USB charging cables and unite on a single standard. You get this thinner seat stay mount, which is great to mount this a little bit lower. And an additional strap here to accommodate different seat posts. Now let's take a moment to check the weight of the Rojo 100. If we put the taillight on the scale, that comes out to 34 grams. And if I put the standard seat post mount with the thinner strap, it comes out at 16 grams. Now let's take a closer look at the Planet Bike Rojo 100 fit and finish. It's a fairly compact LED taillight. It's a 2 LED design, with the upper one being more prominent with this white lens and a honeycomb texture to it. This diffuses the light quite a bit. On the bottom you have the same LED but smaller. You have this oblong shape to it as well, but again, very compact. With the transparent lens body, you also get excellent side visibility. See, if I turn it on here, it really reflects off the body and gives you additional safety at night. On the top, you have the power button. I found this a little bit hard to use, especially with gloves on. It's really small. You can see compared to my finger. You also have the logo on top. On the other side, you have Rojo 100 with the opaque plastic body holding the clip and hiding the battery underneath it. On the bottom, you have the USB Type-C port. Really great feature. It's nice to see at this price point, and I hope it becomes more common in the bike light industry. Clip-wise, very standard. However, by integrating the body clip directly into the mounting, you can see you get a very bulky design. If I attach this to the seat post mount, there's quite a bit of setback from the actual seat post. More traditional taillights today have the hooks directly built in and use basic rubber straps, which put it very close to the actual seat post. So that's one thing to note. However, you do have vertical adjustability, and the fact that it's not tool-free means the mount is less likely to be stolen. So now I'd like to compare the Rojo 100 versus some other taillights on the market. As you can see here, I have a wide variety laid out. First off, we have Planet Bike's own Superflash. This is a taillight I probably owned for 5 to 6 years already. It has 2 AAA batteries. They have rechargeable versions now. In terms of form factor, they've modified the signature look a little bit. They've pulled in the bottom, tucked in the bottom, and made the top a little bit wider for this more kind of oblong egg shape. I also like the darker color on the lens. It makes it look a little more intimidating. Thickness-wise, very similar, and mounts are almost identical as well. Next up we have is the Topeak Red Light Mega. This is a 5 LED taillight from Topeak with quite a bit of power. But again, putting these side by side, this is a lot more compact and pushes out more lumens. The only other USB Type-C taillight we've tested here is the Fenix BC051R. This has a couple of cool features, but as you can see, really poor side visibility, 10 lumens, $20 versus the Roya at 100 lumens and $35. The one thing that the Fenix has that the Roya doesn't have is a really cool battery indicator. So if I just click on here, when it's off, I get a battery color, which maps to a different percentage. With the Roya 100 and almost all the taillights I'm showing here, you just get a small LED on inside the housing that would illuminate once the battery's low, which is really easy to miss and means you do need to recharge this more often as you're kind of uncertain about the battery status. Other taillights on the market have some more unique form factors. This is a via switch, which is $50. It has a single LED, and as you can see, much more unique style with a USB connector directly built in. This also has the safe pulse mode, which is similar to the Planet Bike Superflash, as it's an irregular pulsing to improve your visibility and also ensure the drivers can gauge your distance when you're riding. The more common taillights you see today are something like the Topeak Red Light Aero USB 1 watt. I believe this is a 60 lumen at $50, while the Roya is $35. So again, price advantage and power advantage. This one has a COP LED design, which makes it look really slick. It also has a much more compact mounting design. So you can see once this is mounted on the seat post, the Roya will stick out quite a bit due to the multi-mounting piece, while the built-in mount hooks here and a simple rubber strap put this really close to your seat post. So this looks a lot more flush and a little bit more modern with this COB LED design. There's also a lot of smart taillights on the market. Here we have a Magicshine CME 60. This is up to 60 lumens and a $35 taillight. Comparing the two, you get more power with the Roya, you get the USB Type-C, and I think the smart features on the Magicshine CME 60 result in more inconsistent battery life. So I actually prefer the Roya 100 just in terms of battery consistency and the more operating modes, such as the courtesy mode and the Superflash. Now let's take a look at the Roya mounted on my seat post. As you can see, you get vertical adjustability with the mount, which is a nice feature you don't typically see. However, there's quite a bit of bulkiness. There's a lot of space between the light and the seat post. You can also mount the light onto your seat stay, and again, you get vertical adjustability. It's a nice way to add a little more light for additional safety. There are 4 different modes with the Roya. You have steady with up to 5 hours of use. You have pulse with up to 10 hours. And then you have courtesy, which ramps it up and down. It looks a little flickery here just due to the camera. And then finally you get Superflash Turbo, which is a very erratic and high power mode with up to 15 hours. Now let's go over the pros and cons of the Roya 100. Some of the things I like about the light is the daytime visibility with the 100 lumen output. You can really use this during the daytime to improve your safety. The USB Type-C charging and the multiple mount options right out of the box are really nice features you don't typically see. And finally, the courtesy and Superflash Turbo output modes are really unique to Planet Bike and really help your visibility again, whether you're in a group setting or riding in the daytime. Some of the things I don't like about the light are the small power button. It's a little bit hard to operate, especially with gloves. The mount is rather bulky as well and does require a screwdriver. Unlike some of the other lights that are more flush with your seat post, this will stick out quite a bit. And finally, like a lot of USB taillights these days, there's no really intuitive battery indicator. You only get a 10% or less low battery indicator status. Now, if we give this a final rating, out of 10, I would give it a 9. It's a really bright USB Type-C taillight. And as we mentioned, some of the features really set it apart. The USB Type-C charging, the multiple mounts, and the different light output modes make this a really great choice, and especially at $35, it's a light I would definitely recommend. So thanks for watching this review. If you want to see more content, you can follow us at The Sweet Cyclist on Instagram. You can also visit our website at thesweetcyclist.com for additional content. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.